All right. We are officially live streaming on our Facebook page for Red or Green Books. Welcome, everyone, to the June 2025 Book Club Author Talk featuring Jeremy Hickson and his incredible book, Philo-Sophy and Ont-Ology. It is a play on words because we are poets, so you do have to have an open mind when you are reading books of poetry. Please know that we don't follow normal literary rules, and this book is no exception. So, hi, Jeremy. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
All right, some rules, some ground rules for those who are watching. Those who might be watching the live stream and want to join the Zoom, you're welcome to do so. Please log into your Zoom account before you join the Zoom room. Today, we're going to be having a wonderful author talk with Jeremy. We're going to hear a full-length feature of all of his work, which is great. Some is going to be from the book, some may not be from the book, some may be new, some may be old, but it's a lot of fun. If you would like to purchase a copy of the book this month, there's a $5 coupon. And the coupon code is Philo-Sophy, and it is on redorgreenbooks.com. READ. So if you go to redorgreenbooks.com, you can purchase the book, put in the coupon code only this month. It'll give you $5 off his book, and all the proceeds go to the author in the month of book club. So it's a wonderful way for the authors to make some extra dough and for you all to hear their work live in person, especially if you perhaps maybe picked up his book or bought the collection and you haven't actually met Jeremy or you haven't actually heard any of their work. Then it's a wonderful opportunity today to do that. So I'm not going to read Jeremy's bio. I'm going to let Jeremy kind of talk about himself a little bit. And then before we bring Jeremy up to do the entire set, I will read from one of the reviews on the back of the book, which is wonderful. Cover art by Shane Maynard from Guerrilla Poets. Wonderful. Right? Shane did the cover, right? Yeah.
No, it was,
Rebecca Dreskin. Sorry, Rebecca. I just noticed on the back, Rebecca Dreskin. She's actually coming to my house later today, which is great. I love Rebecca. She lives here in Albuquerque. And she's, of course, the lead singer for Blame It on Rebecca, which is all queer, all woman band, which is amazing. And we just did Pridezilla together. So happy Pride Month, everyone. All right. So, Jeremy, I'll let you talk a little bit about yourself, a little bit about where people can find you, follow you, stuff that you've got going on. Talk a little bit about the book, about your journey to the book, what people can expect when they pick up the book and read the book. And we'll move into your feature set today.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Jeremy. People also know me as, especially here in Denver, I have many names. People know me as Jack. People know me as Jackie, Charlotte, Trinity. I go by all the names that I can possibly go by. But, regardless of what name I'm using and what name I give out, my big thing is kind of just like coming from a place of love. And it's something that has been instilled in me from, a very loving family. And we all experienced some grief together, some collective grief and family loss. And that, I think, was one of the things that really strengthened the bond of family for me. And it's something that, like, this book, without it, I don't think that I would know how that the love that, manifests through me, and that I receive from my family and just want to pass out. I don't think that I would know where that came from. And so, yeah, what else about me? I went to college for English and sociology. It's really interesting now. I'm kind of in the works of drafting some stuff for a podcast, and the way that my education is now coming into full swing in a way that I didn't realize that it was going to. It's just really, really awesome. And I think that something that I've learned, and it's a big lesson, is there will be things that we want to do that maybe don't make sense to us. But there's this pull. There's this intuitive, I want to do it. I just want to do it. And I didn't know how I would be making money as somebody who reads book and knows stuff about groups of people. What does that mean for anything? But I'm starting to find the way. And, I graduated in 2021. So now it's 2025, 4 years later. And it took me 6 years to get through school too. And I didn't know what I was going to do. So it was 10 years of just kind of like, I think that this is something that I need to do. And I can't point to any, like, this is the career I want, or this is the specialization that I'm going to have. But it's kind of like starting to come into form. And I think that this book is also like a part of that, understanding, like, just being able to read so many different poets and so many different novelists, and then to be talking to my professors in a way that, like, we're analyzing the societies that these books were printed in and what were the artists talking about. All of that is like, what it's the stuff that I'm passionate about, how art is a reflection. There's that famous expression, life imitates art and art imitates life. Like, and to kind of just be like, oh, this movie is just a movie. Like, I don't believe that people just like, and maybe some, but like, it's still a reflection of things that people are feeling, where the imagination is at. So all of that is just kind of like where I come from. What led to this book? I think that I just really needed to know that I could do the things that I set my mind to. And I went through a pretty bad breakup. And the feeling that, like, over all of my life, all of the poems that I've written that sat in notes on my phone that I didn't share with people, that I didn't share with my partner, all the stories that I was working on that I didn't share with my family, I didn't share with my partner, I didn't share with my friends, there was this feeling that I was wasting away in the notes on my phone, and that people weren't really getting to see a full expression of me. And that because of that, I wasn't able to see a full expression of anybody around me. I had no gratitude. There was like no gratitude. There was no peace. And even though I felt the love and I knew it was there, it was just like this thing that was under the surface. And, then people kind of, I tapped into Instagram, started going to the, kind of, I actually think that I went to a live open mic first, and that put me into Instagram and the live Instagram poet scene, which is where I met Marissa, the publisher of my book. That's where I met Jolene, the editor of my book. That's where I met Ram, who wrote this incredible review for my book, and so many other people, like Ragged, who's in this room right now. And life started to click together. Like, things just started to click as I followed my instincts. And it didn't make sense. Nothing ever makes sense to me in the moment. But looking back, as I go through, I'm able to say, oh, that puzzle piece, that one goes here. And this puzzle piece, that one goes here. And the ones that I'm holding in my hand, I just have to kind of like hold them until I know where they go. And so that's kind of what led me here, to publishing this book. And a big part of this is like, it's a healing journey for sure. And kind of a promise. Ooh, getting emotional. A promise to the reader, and to the people who support me, that I will do my best to support you too. And I've gone through a lot. I know that we've all gone through a lot. And I'm going up. I'm spiraling upwards. There's no more downward spirals. I am rising in love, not falling in love. There is no more down. Things are just going to be more beautiful. I'm positive of it. And, my goal is to remind myself every single day when I wake up and I look out at Denver, and I have these, like, it's like, miles of, that I can just see out the window. There's the highway is kind of nearby, and nothing is really blocking. So I can just see so far. There's so much sky. And every day the sun comes up, and whether it's a gray, cloudy day and I can't see it at all, and it's just kind of like that subtle shifting from dark to light. But most days the clouds are all pink, orange, golden, and it is so beautiful. And my life is a blessing. I want to just open people's eyes to the blessings all around. They're everywhere if you look. So that's what I got.
Oh, and you're such a blessing. I just have to say that. Like, you are such a blessing. And I'm excited you're only 6 hours away, and I'm surprised like we haven't been able to connect yet, which is
Yeah.
bananas. But
Yeah.
in July, the Blackberry Peach Slam Festival will be here in Albuquerque, and there'll be poets from all over the world back here. We had a huge slam here in March. So if you're looking to like come experience new poets that are going to be here, it doesn't happen all that often that kind of slam comes here. So let me know. I'm happy to put you up and all that good stuff, so you could experience other poets. It's a really incredible event. But that being said, I love that. I love that you say it's a healing journey, a promise to the reader, and I'm rising in love, not falling. I think that is one, like, that's a t-shirt. Jack, we got to put that on a t-shirt. Let's do a t-shirt for you. I would totally do a t-shirt for you. I love that. All right, so just so those who are coming in the room, welcome. We're gonna roll into Jeremy's full length feature now. At the end of the feature, we're gonna come back and do a little Q&A and a little dialogue. And you are welcome in the room to ask questions of Jeremy, of course. And he is, of course, welcome to not answer them if he doesn't want to. But we can always ask a question. So if you have any questions, please save those till the end. And you're welcome to either type them in the chat or raise your virtual hand and ask them on the video, and we will handle that and tackle that. And once again, you can get his book, Philo-Sophy and Ont-Ology, at redorgreenbooks.com. Red, READ, cover art by Rebecca Dreskin. And I will go ahead and read what Danielle Hickson, who is the composer, wrote for one of the reviews on the back of Jeremy's book. I am truly captivated by Jeremy's masterful play on words and punctuation, which charges familiar phrases with profound new meanings. His vivid descriptions conjure entire worlds in my mind, transporting me from my couch to places I've never experienced. Jeremy's poetry prompts me to see things in a fresh light, expertly shifting my perspective. Each poem tells a unique story that, while unfamiliar, resonates deeply and feels remarkably relatable. I'm looking forward to ruminating over these poems even more, and know that each time I do, I'll find something new. It is a wonderful read. I encourage you highly to get it. You can get the $5 coupon this month only. I will invite everyone, if you would like, to unmute your mic. Give it up for our featured reader for Book Club June 2025, the one and only Jeremy Hickson. Oh.
All right. Here we go. So of course, I never plan like, oh, this is what I'm going to read for my feature set. I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm going to flip through and see what calls. But we're going to start here with the poem that is the first one in the book before kind of the rest, and it's titled Epi. It's a little bit of an epigraph, what you're getting into. So here we go. I have been kissed by the loving lips of knowing. I have been swept into the gale force of experience. I've been washed in the calming balm of prayer. I have been lost in the unmapped madness of grief. No matter how hard I try to make it, no matter, no meaning, no, meaning I know nothing. In silent hours of night, knowing sweeps down, star-kissed light, streams through my window and places on each temple a feathery lip. I have learned she comes to us slow, methodical movements, through movements. She creeps in during hours, parental door locked, bed creaking, shrieking tires before sight of blood, bike, wheels spinning. She is not the torrent of pain, towers of tears crumbling out of tattered twin eyes on a teetering head. She is not the fiery will to salt earth, Raise ground, send up death through rising mushroom clouds. She is settling dust, lingering trust, quiet, steadfast faith, clinging after fulfilled lust. Hoarded in libraries' musty pages and leaves piled for miles on suburban streets. She seeps from stumps, sappy remembrance of sinew stored, no more now, wafting on wind. She is a locked wooden box, only to be picked by the keenest mind and even keener ear, keeps all things, sacred and sacrilegious, enshrouded in her overcrowded mind, enshrined. No sacrifice is too great. So be ready, come ready, to give it all up, to let it all go. That's that piece. And then we've got I'll read a couple from each section, and I think I'm only gonna maybe read from this book. We'll see. Let's go to page 18. That sounds good. This is like technically untitled, but I see your tacky maps. Here we go. I see your tacky maps retacked with red lines, rerouting the roads from here to someday. I hope we intersect, run conjoined down the coast, weave and wind, wend and bend together until we split. One heading west, one east. For travelers heading north, a fork where they must choose your path or mine. But for us, heading south, roads combine, heading towards a warmer clime, find footprint divots on a sandy shore as one. I long to explore the roadside museums, your countryside, each marked by a hole punched in paper. My fingers graze engraved stones of this event or that, learning your person history, shining a flashlight into darkest corners, kept company, cobwebs and mothballs, your mind. What roads yet lie ahead for you and me? What unplanned, unmapped adventures are destined? Are we? My fingers trace red lines, wondering where. Are you now? That's that. Where's this one? I want to read one for Father's Day. These two will be good. So my brother recently had his first child, and this is a poem that is dedicated to my brother. And maybe I'm gonna cry, so I've got a tissue here. I'm sorry. I think about the golden boy, his silhouette cast upon me, invisible thing he carried. And as his shadow grew, still a burden unperceived, no slightest inkling. Vaulted up a pedestal, with rungs always out of reach, were they beyond his too? I never considered his field of view. Before I could dream of a future, maybe he better knew bright shimmering possibilities, tomorrow, beyond, always grasping golden fingers, flickering flame, gone in a gust of wind. I'm certain he never expected things to go the way she did. What was his loss like? His suffering? Like my parents and sister who still is, his pain I may never know. That pain he may never show. He protected us so well. This little one, we failed. Dare he fail again? I think about the golden boy now oxidized with time, no longer shining gold as ever in the chambers of my mind. And the children now, bright though they be, I hope he says, won't surpass me, climbs atop his golden dreams clad with hooves and shining wings, and shows us all what he's made of. If all polished he shines no more, e'en after the pain we bore, what was all the suffering for? To send us weeping to the earth, praying for our great unbirth. I think about the golden boy, and my dreams look golden too. Jeez Louise. Okay, here we go. Feelings, feelings, feelings. This is what this is about. And this is just my family generally. But yeah, my dad is definitely in here, and he's in a lot of these poems. He's actually, we share a brain 50% each. So, I hope he knows and feels the love right now. All at once, backdrop drops, costumes up in flames. Makeup drips down faces, runs onto floor. Up in flames, backdrop, costumes, faces I knew. The lights, blinding. The performance of my life. This cast of characters, crowd of clowns was only that. A show. What was behind, much darker than ever I could know, surrounded by fire, fear, darkness, spotlights me, blinding, casts shadows, nothingness all around. I grasp for familiarity, an old hand, hairy knuckled, leathery palmed, the hand of my father. The smell of my mother's hair. My brother's voice, my sister's embrace. Ah, Sishora, no resistance. Darkness fades, spotlights brighter, warmer, kinder on my eyes. As I fall upward into the love of those who loved me first, best. Before I knew what love was, I felt it for them too. They smear faces with water, features unaffected, real. Solid they stand, surround me with the sound of I love you, no longer just noise, and I love them too. Oh, that's Philo. Here we go. Groovy. We go into the next. Page 38. Oh, Colorado is the 38th state to be adding, join the United States of America. Here we go. Page 38. This is a poem. I think I originally titled it like 10 years ago worth, but at this point, untitled, as many of them are. What is this thought worth? Only the paper and pen I record it on and with. The computer I will later use to type it. The time it takes to explore it. Is it worth? A second thought. What is my time worth? A clock to see how much of it I've spent, wasted, copied, pasted, made for things, to see how much I have left. If I make more time, make a clock, make 10 clocks, is it worth more or less? Can I keep track? Will I ever know what all this is worth? And what of my body? Could you spend a sum of money, one night, one day with me? I've been offered offensive little, for my body is all that I have that belongs entirely to me. Is it worth so little? My body, my time, my life, my thought, the next bargaining chip. Ban, temporary safety, great, great things, a tick for all things near and dear, on a punch clock, a countdown, a calendar, numbered, days and time, worth the thought. Are they worth less than me? Less than a clock? A tick on a clock? What is this thought worth? A life, time. And that's that piece. Gang, 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 dang, dang, dang. Oh, this one's a little bit heavy. Trigger warning, all the triggers. So this is a poem that I wrote, and I'll talk just a smidgy about this one. I originally kind of had this big, kind of like chaotic examination of my life that was spanning, childhood to the present day. And I brought it to my editor, and I was reading it, and my editor very politely said to me, "You need to spend some time with this and figure out what you're doing, because you want to do a lot here, and you can do a lot here, but it's not there yet." And I sat down with it, and I asked myself, what am I doing? And I think that this is like, when I sat with this poem again and just like ripped it to shreds, it became clear to me what this book could be, at least for me. And, I guess that it's just to say, you kind of have to, sometimes you have to get your grief out. And, like I was saying before, you kind of get it out, and it's like crazy and chaotic, and it's difficult to like look at. I've been recording myself crying often now, or laughing, or whatever it is, just like random thoughts. I record myself, I have a video, and I sit with myself, and kind of like get that reflection moment. And I think that, yeah, the thing is kind of like, there are people who will help you to make sense of things, even if the help is just like, take a little time. Take a little time. You don't have to go so fast. Take a second with this, And so here we go. This is Down Memory Lane. Memory is a suburban street. Secrets housed in silent walls. History, her story, my story, a mystery. Up till now. I speak for the walls, which would speak for me. 31 Memory Lane. Window throws dazzling image, Christmas lights, white, walking back home from open mic. Chest clenched, cold grips lungs, and I flash further back. 4 memory lane. Asthma, choked throat, reach for familiar leather, palm, hairy knuckles. Daddy? Safety. 'Twas the night before. Holiday tree, seasonal allergy centerpiece, choking me and tree both nearly dying, all alone I. Not quite. Cut off from roots like she. 15 months old, choking for air, no one there but pneumonia in mid of night to hold her tight. No one to spank the light back into her eyes. 6 memory lane. 6 memory lane. My dad only spanked me once, I remember. The look in his eyes, daring, eye brazen. A hex on your mother, spitting curses. So much frustration behind that hand, reaches under bed, pulls, face beat red, pulls, safe from under feet like a rug. Gravity, compounded weight, already incomparable force, father's rage straight into contact with skin. Which of us wondered who would win? I stare at the barrel. It never blinks. Down it. 19 Memory Lane. Down city streets. Catch insults in teeth like bullets. Spit out like pills. Hold sobs in Adam's big apple. Lodged emotions grab. Chokehold. Anger ricochets off fear in my armored skin. Strong through wears household staples. Fag boy. Playa. Nigga. Like symbols could deflect pain with intellectualized labels. Sissy fist. Romantophile. Universalite. 24 Memory Lane. Raw way rallies against anti-gay rhetoric, makes no excuses, no apologies. 6 Memory Lane. Hands, leather straps ringing for apology. That open palm on my bare ass tells me, this is what love I have to give you now. This is the lesson you must learn of my love, that to disobey an order, to speak without thinking, speak without thinking, speak without thinking. 32 Memory Lane. No hands beat me now when I speak without thinking. They embrace me. He did his best to embrace me too. 1950 to 1960 Memory Lane. He learned this lesson from his parents. Act now, apologize never. If you show your weakness, they will see through your lies, tyrannize. So spank without thinking, spank without thinking, spank without thinking. Show them your strength. Oh, black man. How I miss the silent figure. 20 Memory Lane. Rocking, watching baseball. Not enough skill anymore to put into words what he needs help for. Edna peanut butter. I reach up on the fridge. He puts a spoon into nutty mixture. His desire fulfilled at last, or mine. And just in time, before he passed, I finally got to understand him. How I miss the tiny figure. 26 Memory Lane. Used to tower over me too, now long since turned to dust, forgot my name like I, blacked out from memories. 5 Memory Lane. Leather belts across my bare ass, wooden spoons across my bare ass. 14 to 28 Memory Lane. Anything but loving words against my bare ass. 8 and 22 Memory Lane. Those hips I never asked for against my bare ass. Are those the ones I crave now? Before Memory Lane. ricocheting like bullets through his body, lessons he transformed for me like he was wrung for every ounce of disobedience by his parents, the times. 1 through 32 Memory Lane. My dad only did once with his hand, many times with words, whipping my soul out of shape, my outward appearance into it. Get down, you will crack your neck. Not mine to crack. Get down, you will break your arm. Not mine to break. Get down, you will die like her. The game is over. The closest thing I will ever get to owning, hanging at the top of a pine, get down. Always a reminder. I never knew what for until. That this body is for rent only. I'm not even the lessee. Guarantors' words tower over me, well-meaning, wishes hidden at rock bottom, every piece of advice, their shine caked, grime. Leaves me still to interpret in this global gulag with neither ledger, map, nor key. My father is alive, though any hope, I fear, a connection died with my sister. Buried in the ground will not make a sound. That connection might be a seed. Though my eyes are not equipped for the wavelength of the light it captures, reflects. I write rules for myself now. Old ones once learned are all fucked, and I am tired of being fucked. I am tired of being beaten by my self-love. Why did I self-harm as a teen? Why do I self-harm now? What does it mean? That I cannot put my trauma down, except on paper. Is this healing? I try to love myself. It comes out in warnings to look out for death, for loved ones, for yourself. How can I look at this all to see it from my side? I know now why I must look out for myself. Walking down memory lane. And that's that. And maybe we can do is there anything fun in here? Jeez Louise, am I just sad all the time? Yeah, I think I have enough time for maybe one more here. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Here we go into this piece. Oh, page 77. Yeah, all the time. It's like, what am I just like crying at the page? There's no joy. I'm sure that I'm experiencing it and writing about it, but where is it in this? But here we go, page 77. A very vocal bird's erratic song cuts through the wind and my thoughts. Tone slices through, ice cold through tea. Erratic as aforementioned ecstatic. Plight, flight, low creaks to shrieking whistles. Shaped singer's vessel before sight. Sound alone designs. On pitch-perfect black backdrop, iridescent trills, runs of blackbird shine. So true, die, runs through feathers, dances there, alive. My skin and song have no such sheen. I feel a dirge by degrees in comparison. Still, Motionless am I, ride the waves, rolling my body, eroding anxiety. The river of tones washes hairs in my ear, caresses the drum, my heart. And that's that. I do want to share, I like what I did on the page here with this aforementioned ecstatic flight, plight, low, croaks to shrieking whistles. Just a little fun moment on the page there. And there are other moments in here where the text gets a little wonky, and I feel like it was really fun to take my poetry and really kind of, and thank you, Marissa, for kind of like hitting that home. How do things look on the page? Because it's one thing to kind of have the words written out and I'm reading it and it's like kind of the line breaks or whatever, but to really take that intentionality was it was its own kind of like learning and growing experience. And I did want to read actually this one last one. Do I have a little time here?
Absolutely. You want to do another one? Do another one.
Okay, groovy. So this last one, this is the promise to the reader and the promise to myself. I need to read this probably every day. More than fire in my eyes, it's defiance. See the fires in the skies? Flicker, dance. When they know so much, but still can't learn how cosmos housed within must burn. With all my truth, all I am. When every breath cries for revolution, I churn, search simple solutions, aspire, higher evolution. We're all ablaze. I'm more than sun. Kindling turned, I'll just have begun. I am Scorpio's phoenix, through flame transformed, reborn, crawling, creeping, barbed thorn, venom telson, tearing talons, eagle, outreach, soaring falcon, past realm of real magic. I feel. Fire never dies. When I find my place in sky, infinite, truth and love all mine, I can only dream I am a beacon. Flaming feathers, heavenward reaching, shining light on this world. All constellations guide us home. Yeah, and my promise is, I feel. The promise is I am a beacon. The promise is, I'll fucking point you to your dreams. You're not going to forget with me around. So if you want to pursue your stuff, come and be my friend. And if you want to waste away and, do whatever, let me be. I'll just fly where I'm needed. So that's it. That's what I got for poetry. That's it.
I totally love that, right? Because it's so true. If I always tell, we specialize in debut authors here, and we always say, if you keep saying next year, next year, next year, pretty soon 10, 20, 30 years have gone by and you've never put your book out. And it's, we say it's heart work and legacy work here, so that when you have your story, and we also say that every story matters and every story deserves to be told. That's a huge thing, that there's a massive disparity in the publishing world, and we need to fix that. We need to correct that. And so we can do that by recognizing the stories that need to be told and helping to tell the stories. And when when I first met Jack, and I say Jack because in Instagram, that's part of his handle. I was just so blown away by you. You were like instantly one of my favorite people. You know, sometimes you meet people, and I meet a lot of people, but sometimes you meet people and you're just like, wow, I really want to be a part of this person's journey. I want this person to be on my team. I want to make their dreams come true in a way. But more so than that, like I totally wish we were neighbors. Like I think if we lived close to each other, we would have like the best time. And you're totally right. It would be a wonderful symbiosis of energies and calm and love and sharing and art and expression and healing. A lot of healing. A lot of us are needing a lot of healing right now.
Yes.
Right? I mean, when we met each other and then now to see, what's happened in the world, there's a lot of healing that's needed. And I hope you found some healing through this process. I think that I've seen a lot of healing in you. I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of changes and a lot of growth. And like I wasn't sure what to expect when I was like, you should have a book out, but like this is so much more than what I was expecting. It's so much more. It's deeply personal and emotive and raw and authentic, and it's hard to be authentic, y'all, on the page and to be vulnerable like that. But Jeremy, you've always been very courageous. Um, when I said you should have a book out, you're like, yeah, and so many people say no. So many people are
Right.
not willing to dig through the hard work of heart work to produce a book like this.
Hard work of hard work. Wow. I
It's
like
the
that.
hard work of heart work. Yes. And so I'm glad your family's here to support you today. And I hope that they can hear you and that your healing it will help facilitate perhaps some of theirs. Um, there were so many things in your feature. One of the things that really stuck with me was the smell of my mother's hair. So I want you to come to Josephine Laray's feature when her book launches this year because she is a Canadian poet, and she wrote this poem, and it was a last minute insert to her book about brushing her mother's hair. And it's an intensely personal poem. In fact, like she had me in tears when she was reading it. But you and Josephine would be very good friends, and I think that like that poem, like you two would, if she heard that poem from you and you heard that poem from her, I think the two of you would find great kinship in that.
Mm.
Um, I love your promise to the reader. It's hard. It's a lot of pressure. You guys don't even know unless you publish a book. It's a lot of pressure to be authentic with your readers and be true to them and be a reason that they rise and not fall, if you will. So there's a lot of pressure, and you will not be let down by this book at all. Um, and you said there were there were so many things. You were talking about every ounce of disobedience. This body is for rent only. I mean, that hit so hard for me. I write rules for myself now. And so going into, this little kind of Q&A towards the end, I invite anyone in the room, if you would like to type in the chat a question for Jeremy, we may certainly ask him, and they may say no. So it's okay. Jeremy, you're under no obligation to answer these, but I will ask you 3 questions that I ask everyone who comes into Author Talk. Number 1, what was your most favorite, best, exciting, wonderful thing about publishing your book?
Um, oh, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna say that it was actually the connection with Jolene, who edited this book. I mean, we work together still on so many projects now, and like every, I feel like I'm having a feeling of like I feel disconnected from like nature, and I feel like I'm tethered to the ground. And she brings me this like story that she's working on, and the character is going through what I'm going through and has the revelation that I had. that kind of like broke me out of my funk and had me reach out to her like, hey, do you need help with anything? So like just the synchronicities that happen with Jolene. And it is, it's one of the most magical, like magical relationships that I have ever had in my life. And I mean, my mom is like incredible, but Jolene is like the second mother to me who has all this like
Yeah,
writing
your mom
insight.
gave you life, so we have to like, mom, you still matter.
Yeah, no.
Just kidding.
And even yesterday, I like, at Pride, got some free mom hugs. And, I was thinking about my own mother as I was going down the line of moms hugging. And I like, of course, I'm in tears. And they're like, oh, and it's not that I don't have a mother who loves me. It's just like we're separated by so much
Yeah.
distance. She's taking care of grandkids and I'm trying to write books. And so to have another, mother figure, Empress energy come from, somebody who I met like a year ago, 15 months ago. Um, and we'll write kind of like scenes and we write the actions the same way. Like we each are like, let's do our own thing here, see what we can mash together. And we're writing things the same way. Who holds the door open for who says what first? It's like, we're just on like a plane of understanding, me and Jolene together. It's like all tapped in. It's
And if
wild.
you're interested in making any of those, either animated series or docu-series or filming them, let me know and we can apply for grant money to make that happen, because we are
Okay.
launching Red or Green Films, which is going to help us facilitate the poetry and the artwork of our authors into visual arts and media, like
Nice,
film.
nice.
So
Okay.
I think that would be awesome to do.
Yeah.
I love that you showed the picture, when you opened up the book and you showed how you were using the page poetry to really express what you were wanting to say on the page. It's very true, right? You have spoken word and then you have page poetry, and they're very different. And so learning how to take your words, your vocal words, and put them on a page in a way you can conduct the reader's eye to exclaim the things that you're wanting them to do. Those are things that you can't get in a live performance. You can only really get from reading it on the page. So I encourage everyone to go and buy, of course, Jeremy's book, so you get to see all those nuggets of beauty and artistic expression in his book. Okay, so question number 2: what was the hardest thing about publishing your book?
Feeling like I deserve to have anything that I make exist, period. And there's, it kind of, um, whew, it was like, I feel like that's how I was living my life. I was living my life like I didn't deserve to live it. And so I was giving all of my sovereignty, the dominion of self to other people and saying, direct me, I have no life. My life is worthless. My art is worthless. And that's, I think, why I didn't share it. I didn't share it with my partner. And I shared one poem with him maybe early on. And then, that was kind of it. And there was no ask of like, what have you written? Can I see it? This, that, and the other. The same thing with a lot of the people in my life. And at the same time, if I'm not advocating for myself and saying, hey, I made art and you need to look at it, then, I don't know, like what am I doing? What are any of us doing if we're not kind of like making things? And I think about it kind of this parallel. People make children, right? And they show their kids off. They say, "Look at my fucking kid. I did this. This is my kid." And they're playing the piano and they're doing and the pride that people have in their children, but we don't have the same pride in like a little kind of thing that we write on a slip of paper. And so for me to kind of overcome that and recognize that every single breath has value. Every single time I look into somebody's eyes, we are making art, like we are living art. Um, and that was kind of the biggest thing, the hurdle of thinking that I was worth it.
I think that is absolutely valid, and I'm so glad that I met you when I met you, to be able to get you here, because every artist, I would would say every and every poet at some point in their career feels they're not worthy, right? I don't have an MFA. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never been received well. Nobody gets my work. All I write about is sad things. It's not polished. I don't know what I'm doing. No one's going to like it. Like this is the doubter in the mind that tells you you're not good enough. It's very
Mhm.
easy for artists to get sucked down that rabbit hole of not feeling validated, which is why I really wanted to specialize in debut authors. And I wanted to launch everyone together in large groups each year so that you don't have to do it alone, that you have a support system around you, that everyone's going through what you're going through. I will tell you, Jack, every single debut author that's come through these doors has felt the exact same way. And so that is really validation. And I hope people feel like they're not doing it alone as they come through and do these debut author launches,
Yeah.
because it's very hard to do it by yourself, and you don't know what you're doing. You've never done it before. So to be able to do some hand holding and do some rallying and cheerleading and supporting and teaching along the way, right, to learn about page poetry, to learn about the publication process, to do all of that, and then to launch it online. So if you guys missed the book launches, you should go back to the YouTube page and go watch some of Jeremy's original poems. I don't know if you ever do that. Do you ever go back, right, and go and watch those? Because so much
I
time has
haven't.
passed.
I should.
It's like a time machine, right? You get to go
Yeah.
back. And I always encourage people, when you open the box for the first time, and you see your name in print, you see your title, you're flipping through the pages of your own work. This is something nobody can ever take away from you. There's power in this, but this is legacy work. This is heart work, right? This is Jeremy's story, forever will always be. And I hope it's something that brings you some sense of validation, but also worthiness in this life. Your
Mhm.
story matters. I guarantee you, people who read your book feel something. They will always take something with them, and whether they might not be able to recite the poem start to finish, but they're going to feel the way that poem stuck inside them. And that's what this is all about, right?
Mhm.
It takes a
Yeah.
lot of courage for Jeremy to do what Jeremy did to get published. And I'm so glad that you are part of this team. I wouldn't want to share with anyone else. I think you're just so wonderful. I can't wait to see what the next chapter of your life brings. Um, and then, okay, the third question I always ask people also is, and this is wonderful, what advice would you give
Mm.
to the future authors or the next poets or people who are looking or considering publishing their book?
Um, hmm. Advice. Um, I think that I would say it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. You know, I think that there are so many people who are like, oh, like this book was so incredible and the characters and the story and everything just worked ta 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 ta. Or, films or paintings or whatever it is. And they'll kind of get like one brushstroke off from what they were envisioning and say, oh, that means that I'm not capable of like executing the vision 100%. No, 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 no. You made something real. Um, and there are things in this book. I mean, I haven't caught any typos yet, I think, but there are, as I was going through, and oh my gosh, I had a copy of this book that I was like crossing out some of the thes, and I was like going through making all my edits to it. I was like, okay, when I get this like second edition done, it's going to be even tighter, it's going to be even better. And of course, um, somebody came in and kind of like pointed to a journal that I had next to me, and they were like, I would love to know what's in there. And I was like, well, here, have this book of poetry, and it's the book that has all my edits in it for the next version. But that's just kind of an anecdote of me being way too giving. um, but um, you can find like flaws or whatever. Um, it doesn't matter if it's if you're getting the essence of what you want to get out, then that's the important thing. So it doesn't have to reach like a certain standard or whatever. It just has to speak, like really speak to you. And the more, this is the other piece of advice that I'll give. Um, I sat with all these poems for years and like revisited even before going through it with an editor. And then when I finally did kind of work with my editor, we went through it again. Each poem got at least 2 passes, and some of them got like 3 or 4.
Wow.
So, you know, I think that we can all write some flowery, pretty words on a page. um, but if you're not willing to return to it and spend 2 hours with it, is it really speaking to you? And if it's not, then it's probably not going to speak to other people. Make it speak, make it sing, make it real, make it alive. Yeah. And those are my pieces of advice. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just make it breathe.
It's true. I mean, part of that is being authentic, right? And we have
Mhm.
had poets come through who intentionally spell everything wrong. The rules don't apply when it comes to poetry. You don't need a single capital letter at all in your poetry. You can have an entire book with no punctuation, right? Because this is really an artistic expression. We don't get bogged down with the way society says we need to have, perfect poetry. We don't do that because it really is an unrestricted self-expression of whatever it is the author wants to convey. And it is true, like, there's always going to be like one or two things that is incorrect if you were to abide by certain rules. But I don't let the authors um, I don't make them be really constrained by rules. The only things I like to be constrictive on is things like cover spelling. Well, we talk, that's still even lax, but we
Yeah.
want to make sure that the things that are not from the author, like reviews and whatnot, that those are correct. But otherwise, really, if full reign, they have full control over how they want the book to come out, how they want it to be viewed and received. And I love your play on words. And I'm so glad that you got really artistic within the book. Because I think when you let go of all the rules, it allows the author to really bloom and blossom and grow, and it becomes something that you never probably even thought it would be. And
Yeah.
I'm really you have things going on for. I think you should maybe consider publishing that journal, and maybe even do it like the prelude, like the true start or something like that, like how it all began, or inception or something, for even the prequel to this book. And I think a lot of times the unpolished nature of some of these poems is where you find the authentic author, the authentic person behind everything. Like I go look at some of my poems from 20 or 30 years ago,
Mhm.
and it's like, wow. But
Mhm.
there's something very special and nostalgic about that, measuring the growth, whether it's language, the use of language, or the organization of a piece, or the thoughtfulness. But this, I don't know, your next book, I'm just so excited. Like, I can't wait to see what happens, and what you wind up doing. We're going to be bridging into children's literature, which is another thing that's super, super close to my heart. And
Mhm.
so having poets, bridging into their next projects is very, very exciting, for me personally to watch, because I get to watch their whole journey from start to finish here. So following up with them is always very, very exciting. So nobody asked any questions in chat. I will posit it to the room one more time. If anyone has any questions they would like to ask Jeremy, you're welcome to raise your virtual hand or type it in the chat. But I do not see any questions in the chat. So with that being said, you can get your copy of Philosophy and Ontology wait, Zach says, oh, here we go. After a year, have your feelings about the expression or meaning in your poetry collection changed? If so, how? It's a very good question, Zach.
Huh. I don't know if in the overall book my feelings have changed, but there's one poem that's dedicated to my sister who passed away at 15 months old. And every time I go back to it, I realize what I'm saying. And I start to see her in numbers. I see her in blades of grass, in the rainbows on my wall, from the light catcher that my mom got me. Um, just, I revisit it and I realize how expansive that is. When I say she is everything and everywhere, she is literally what gives me a reason to breathe. And that's probably the biggest thing that's changed is, I sit back and I think, she didn't get to have her heart broken at 25. She didn't get to fall in love at 28 and then have her heart broken again at 31, 32. She didn't get to drop out of college twice, and still get a degree. She didn't get to have a book of poetry published. And so I'm living for both of us.
That's such a poignant reminder for everyone who's lost someone.
Yeah.
And you will never have that. And not just you, but your family. But it is a wonderful reminder to live and keep choosing to live, keep choosing to do the things that those who have left us can't do anymore. And I just love you for your spirit. I just do. Mom, he was in great hands and you did a great job raising him. And I thank you for letting him be part of the journey of this press. Because, I mean, honestly, we're made up of people like Jeremy and Zach and people who, pour love into what we do here. Yeah, maybe we could do, if you want to do an anthology, maybe in the future, of poems for those who have gone. Perhaps we could work on a project like that.
Yeah.
But yes, it's very beautiful. I can't even imagine. My mother had lost a sibling as an infant as well. And so I always wonder how my grandmother did it. Uh, my grandmother is going to be 95 years old this year in October. And she lived her whole life with that grief.
Yeah.
95 years. So she tells me I can live with the grief. Um, and so we just do it, right? We persevere. We just keep creating art. We keep telling our story because it matters. Your story matters. Everyone's story matters, and every story deserves to be told. And I'm so glad that you chose us to tell it here, Jeremy. And I'm just so grateful for you. Yes, and thank you everyone for listening to Jeremy's feature today. Um, I'll plug your book one more time, and then I'll let you wrap us. Uh, Philo-Sophy and Ont-Ology by Jeremy Hickson is available. RedOrGreenBooks.com, Red READ. You can use coupon code Philo-Sophy for a $5 coupon this month only. I will have him sign and send you a book, and all the proceeds go to Jeremy in the month of June. So please share the information so others can pick up his incredible book. Jeremy, why don't you tell folks where they can find you, follow you, all that good stuff?
Oh, right. Okay, right. The whole thing here. So I do have a website. It is www.jackvaltrades.com. So that's www.jackvaltrades.com. I also am on Instagram. You just add a couple underscores there. So it's Instagram. What is it? Jack_Val_trades, JACK_VAL_TRADES. The whole thing here is that I'm a jack of all trades. So while I do have this like book of poetry going on, and I'm like gotta get out there and like pound the pavement and do that, I also like am working on one novel on my own, and then co-writing a novel with my editor Jolene. And like writing guru, mentor, guide, whatever. I'm a plant parent. You can see my hydrangea right here. The other one, oh, it was so wilted before. I was like, when was the last time I watered her? So I got like plant stuff going on. I want to get into herbalism and all that. And what else? Like play flute, play guitar, play piano. I do a little songwriting stuff. I'm like have a history of dance and color guard and
I
like being
saw
in
you
drum.
doing that dance. I was like, dang, he's got some moves on him.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, shuffling, you'll catch it all on Instagram. And so, yeah, that's kind of like
Also,
where the
Jeremy's
name
bio
comes
is
from.
also on the website. So if you want the hyperlinks to all of his social media, just go to the website because it does have his bio. You can also read all the reviews for his book there. So if you didn't get all of that, just go to redorgreenbooks.com, click
Yeah.
authors, you'll scroll down to his name, and all of his bio, his links and handles are all there as well. Do you have anything coming up, Jeremy? You want to plug?
What do I have coming up? No, nothing. Nothing.
Okay.
I'm just screwing
Well,
around.
there you'll have to stay tuned because it's a mystery. There, you
Yeah,
got to leave us hanging, right? It's a mystery. You got
exactly.
to stay tuned. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow to Jeremy Hickson. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow everywhere for Red or Green Books. This video will be available on YouTube soon, so keep your eye out. Next month, we will be back at Book Club Author Talk. It's the third Sunday of the month at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can catch us there. You can also catch all of the past author talks on our Red or Green Books YouTube channel. Jeremy Hickson, thank you so much for joining us today. Please pick up his book, Philo-Sophy and Ont-Ology. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Zach, Dad, Savannah, everyone who joined us today. Peace and blessings, everyone. We'll see you next time. Hi, Jack.
Later. Love you.